NFC North rivals meet on a short week as the Green Bay Packers welcome the Chicago Bears to Lambeau Field on Thursday Night Football. According to the linesmakers, it's going to be a rude welcome from the favored Packers, who really need a bounce-back game after an ugly loss to the Dallas Cowboys. Last week, Chicago squandered a 13-0 lead at the end of the third quarter to lose 17-16 to the Jacksonville Jaguars in their own ugly loss. If you're still betting on the Chicago Bears, it's probably time to stop. They're 1-5 straight up and against the spread this season. Chicago has scored more than 17 points just once on the season, and that makes the margin for error exceptionally small. But sometimes in the NFL, when everyone else jumps off, it's time to jump on. The Green Bay Packers dropped to 3-2 both against the spread and straight up. This is the fourth straight home game for Green Bay. The Chicago Bears outgained Jacksonville 389-317 in yardage on Sunday. They had a 35-minute and 47 to 24-minute and 13 advantage in time of possession, but they still lost the game. They were 1 for 4 in red zone trips and gave Jacksonville 5 free first downs via penalty. On top of it all, Chicago didn't turn the ball over even once. There are some silver linings, however, aside from not being able to get into the end zone. Brian Hoyer has moved the offense up and down the field. Hoyer has completed 69% of his passes for 1,396 yards, 6 touchdowns, with no interceptions. He's only taken 4 sacks. Jordan Howard has averaged 5 yards per carry. Somehow, through 6 games, Alshon Jeffrey has not caught a touchdown pass. The fact that the Bears can't finish drives is one of the biggest reasons why they are 1-5. For the most part, Vic Fangio's defense has gotten progressively better as the offense has improved. The Bears have held 2 of their last 3 opponents to 17 points or less, but turnovers and other factors have kept the defense from making big plays. They have 13 sacks on the season, but they have only forced 6 turnovers. Jacksonville couldn't run the football last weekend, but blown coverage on a 51-yard touchdown pass sealed the team's fate on a day when the offense needed to be bailed out. Opponents have scored on 45.5% of their drives against Chicago, so somebody needs to step up and make some plays. Given how Green Bay looked last week and how Aaron Rodgers has looked this season, the chances should be there on Thursday. People seem pretty hesitant to say it, but Aaron Rodgers does not look the same this season. Maybe it's a schematic thing, which has been a point of discussion with Mike McCarthy's lack of creativity. Maybe it has been the offensive line. Whatever the case, Rodgers' season caught up with the Packers last weekend. Rodgers has completed just 60% of his passes, but he has a 10-4 touchdown interception ratio. He's only thrown for 226.6 yards per game, as the Packers have averaged just 10.7 yards per catch. That's 27th in the NFL. Rodgers made a lot of good decisions with the ball against Dallas, but he fell short of 3 bills on 31 completions, threw a critical pick, and fumbled inside the 10. The Green Bay defense got exposed in a big way last weekend. After playing offensive juggernauts like Jacksonville, Minnesota, Detroit, and the New York Giants, the Dallas Cowboys pushed Green Bay's defensive front up and down the field. Dallas had 191 rushing yards, and Dak Prescott had 3 easy touchdown passes, mostly set up by the run. It was a terrible performance from the Green Bay defense. They were put into some tough spots by turnovers, but they got pushed around. Like the Bears, the Packers' defense has not forced enough turnovers, and they haven't had enough big plays. From a line value standpoint in the tight NFL market, this is the way to go. It is important to point out that there are better ways to bet this game, though. The first half under in primetime games since the start of 2015 is now 45-17-2. It's also worth pointing out that the line hasn't mattered in over 82% of NFL games this season. Picking the winner has meant picking the right side far more often than not. Obviously, Green Bay would need a big win here. With a Chicago offense that can move the ball but can't punch it in, possessions should be limited so they can stay within the number. Our pick and prediction is for the Chicago Bears at +9.